Back here on Titans Talk, phone lines open 737-7767. I asked a question about why perhaps the excitement isn't where you might expect it to be for a Titans team that won yesterday, fourth straight win for the first time since 2009. Best 9-game start to the season at 6-3 since 2008, which happens to be the last time this team made the playoffs. All of that going in a positive direction here. A great come-from-behind final-minute win yesterday, and the people who were there were into it. They were loud and excited. But I wondered why there were a few empty seats yesterday. And I asked about the weather, and I asked about other things. Most of the calls we've gotten have been that this is about the national anthem and about the team staying off the field when they did earlier in the season for week 3, stayed back in the locker room along with the Seahawks and other people around the league taking a knee during the anthem. We'll see as we continue on here. Let's go back to the phones and Fletch. Fletch, thanks for the call.
Hey, Nick, appreciate the call. My first time, calling. But you right on point. And what I mean by you on point is that a lot of people don't even know why the protests exist. They don't even understand it.
Sure.
You was on point when you said that while the seats are empty, and you say the protest is about this, or somebody else say the protest about this. The same ones that said they need going to the game, and while we got the empty seats, they're doing the same thing. They are looking at one way of it, vice versa another way. So when you don't feel the seats, you are protesting too.
Yeah, there's no question about it. What we have right now is we have two camps in this, and unfortunately, nobody's having a real reasonable conversation in the middle. You're either on one side or you're on the other side, and you think the people on the opposite side are just wrong and in some cases evil. And I think that's bad for the discourse in this country, but that's where we stand right now is you're on one side or the other of this. There's not much in between.
Ain't nothing in between. Hey, I thank you for saying that.
Yep. Fletch, we appreciate the call. Let's go to Bruce. Bruce, thank you very much. You're next up here on Titans Talk. Hello, Bruce. You there, Bruce? Try to put him back on hold and see if we can get back to him. Let's try. How about Gordon? Gordon, you there with me?
Yes, I am, Steve.
Yeah, go ahead.
And, this whole discussion about taking a knee, I want to start off by saying I've watched your show week after week, and I want to applaud you for giving a very honest and balanced point of view with this controversy. It's nuanced, and that's how it should be because it's not a black and white issue. I take issue with people who say, "Hey, if I didn't show up for work, or I took a knee and didn't do my job, I would get fired." They're forgetting that all the football players showed up for work. As soon as the national anthem was over, they got on the field and they went to work.
Sure.
And as you mentioned, they're not protesting the flag or the military or the national anthem. They are simply saying that this country is not living up to the ideals of the national anthem and the flag and the things that the military have fought for. And what I haven't heard, and I'm not even sure I've heard you say it, is, okay, if it was the right message but the wrong vehicle, what would the right vehicle have been? Now, that they had a meeting between the league and the Players Association, and they were going to iron this out by saying, okay, we're going to do commercials, we're going to do TV ads that talk about the issue of racism and police brutality, and that we're going to give the players that platform. Well, so far, the only commercials I've seen are football players talking about how they love this country and they honor the military, and I have not heard one thing in any of these commercials about we have a problem in America.
Yeah.
So if this was supposed to be the remedy, it's not getting done. And my question goes back to, how should these players have gotten the attention of the American public and the president, who said that they should all be fired?
Yeah, Gordon, all of that is good stuff, and I appreciate the call here tonight. I think, first off, the commercials right now, that's for the Salute to Service Month that's going on. So I think that's a first step and maybe even a totally different thing than the commercials that may come at a later date from them. I think the one correction I would make to your point, which somewhat answers the later question, is that a lot of people aren't just arguing that if they didn't show up to work and they took a knee instead in protest by skipping work someday, that they would be fired. It's the fact that you can't do that at your work. I can't choose to not do the next segment and take a knee or protest something up here, or come out and say that I'm totally for or against this and have my own personal protest up here on News Channel 5 airwaves. I can't. I'll lose my job. That is just a simple fact. And I think most people out there who have jobs where they're not necessarily the boss, that's their situation. If they wouldn't lose their job, they'd probably face significant discipline at their job. And that's where a lot of people, I think, had an issue, is here are some of the most privileged and most entitled people in America, professional athletes, showing up to their job and protesting on the job against the guidelines of what they're supposed to do from their employers, protesting on the job and making the paying fans, the people who ultimately pay their salaries, forced to watch it. I mean, if you're going to watch the NFL, it's a little bit difficult to avoid the protest if they're going to do it right before the kickoff of the game. Again, you have the right not to watch, I guess, but if you want to watch, if you're a football fan, that can be troubling for you. And so I think that was part of the issue. It's a great point about what vehicle should they have chosen. I mean, you can make an argument that Colin Kaepernick taking a knee with this vehicle got the most awareness for it. Now, whether he got the most people to buy in and really engage in the conversation, I don't know. I'm not sure this vehicle did the best for that. But it certainly made people sit back and take notice. That's for sure. All right, we got to take a break. We'll get back to more of these phone calls right after this. Stay tuned. We're watching Titans Talk here on News Channel 5 Plus.